Geoverse Part 2 To Love is Human by GeodesicDragon. Chapter 7 The Waiting Game Part 1. And that is how you play a first-person shooter! I shouted gleefully as John and I jumped to our respective feet in order to perform a victory dance. Zoro chuckled. "Only because we're using a PS3 and I'm more of an Xbox man," he said. "But no matter, you finally beat me at something." He did some counting on his fingers. "But that's one victory to 73 defeats," he said with a smirk. "So you've still got a long way to go." I smiled and turned my head towards the stabilizer. The only noise I could hear was a gentle hum as the giant batteries charged. As I looked at the display, my smile vanished. "Fucking hell!" I said sharply. "It's only 20% charged." Zoro sighed. "Well, it's a big machine," he said flatly. "So naturally it would need a lot of power. That, and I'm charging it using solar energy. Have you seen how much sun we've had recently?" Now it was my turn to sigh. "What about the wind turbines?" I asked. "We're getting a shit ton of wind." As if on cue, the wind blew into the room, causing papers and hair to ruffle. "Those turbines power the rest of my lab," Zoro said with a trace of hesitation. "As I said, the stabilizer uses a lot of energy, so I needed something else to provide power for it." "And you chose solar panels?" John asked. "Yes," Zoro replied. "In the UK?" "Yes." John looked at Zoro with a raised eyebrow, his mouth turned up into a sly smile. "Oh, right," Zoro said, realizing what John was getting at. "I realize now that solar panels weren't exactly the best choice." John laughed. "But you try getting planning permission for a nuclear reactor," Zoro said loudly, pointing at John. "It's not easy." John laughed harder. "Well," I said glumly, "I can only hope that the weather cuts us some slack and gives us some sunlight." I chuckled. "How ironic is it that I hate sunlight, yet here I am, wishing for it more than anything else in the world?" I thought for a moment. "After Twilight Sparkle, of course," I smiled. There was a pause before all three of us broke into hearty laughter. Eventually we regained our composure, and I picked up the PS3 controller and sat down. "Okay, boys," I said with a grin. "Who's ready to get schooled?" Twilight and Rainbow Dash were lying outside the tent, gazing intently at Pinkie Pie, who had a look of pure concentration on her face. She looked around before pointing at something. "Oh, fire!" she exclaimed with a gasp. Twilight nodded and smiled. "You win, Pinkie," she said. The party pony cheered. "I told you I was good at I Spy," she said, a faint trace of smugness present in her voice. "And we never doubted you for a moment," Twilight replied. "Right, Rainbow Dash?" Dash sighed. "Come on, every pony," she said. "Let's do something else." "What do you have in mind?" asked Twilight. Before Rainbow Dash could answer, a brilliant flash of light lit up the area, causing the three mares to shield their eyes. "Oh, sorry, girls," a voice said. "I thought you'd be inside." Twilight uncovered her eyes and saw Princess Celestia standing in the middle of the clearing. "Princess Celestia?" she gasped as Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash stood up and bowed. "What are you doing here?" "Your letter said to come for a visit, Twilight Sparkle," Celestia replied with a smile. "So here I am." "Don't forget me, sister," Luna yelled as she descended from the sky. She looked at Twilight. "Greetings, Twilight." "Princess Luna," Twilight said. "It's nice to see you. To see you both, I mean." Celestia giggled. "How are you doing, Twilight?" Luna asked. "I'm doing very well," Twilight replied as she went over to the tent. "Please, let's talk in here." The royal sisters looked at the tent. "Will it fit all 5 of us?" Luna said as she looked the tent up and down, as if trying to visualize the space inside. "It's much bigger than it looks," Twilight chuckled. "As I said in my letter, Rarity went a tiny bit overboard with it." She opened the flap, and all 5 of them trotted inside and sat down. The princesses looked around at the surprisingly spacious interior, their eyes wide with wonder. "So, Princess Luna," Twilight began. "Please, Luna is fine," she replied. Twilight smiled. "Very well, Luna," she said. "You were asking me how I'm doing?" Luna nodded. "As I said earlier, I'm doing well. My friends are by my side, and I know that Geo will be coming back to me soon." "And when he does," Pinkie Pie said, "I'm going to throw a super-duper-ultra-huge mega-party!" Both princesses smiled. "I look forward to it," Celestia said. The 5 of them sat in silence for a while. Celestia's attention was soon drawn to the pile of tally marked paper on the floor. "Has it really been 3 weeks since you came here?" she asked. Twilight nodded. "And I'll wait even longer if I have to," she said, the determination in her voice all too obvious. Celestia sighed. "In all honesty, Twilight," she said hesitantly, "maybe you should return to Ponyville." Twilight gasped. "No, I can't," she said, unable to comprehend what she had just heard. "I need to be here for him." Celestia laid a comforting hoof on Twilight's shoulder. "I know you do, my dear student," she said softly. "But what if he doesn't re-enter Equestria at this spot?" Twilight sniffled. "I know, but he'll reappear here," she said. "I can feel it." "Your feelings can often betray you, Twilight," Luna said. "And believe me, I know what that's like." The 2 princesses exchanged an awkward glance. "Why are you saying all of this?" Twilight said, her anger rising. "We just want to make sure you understand everything," Celestia replied. "What if something happened to him in his own world?" Twilight's mouth hung open, but no sound came out. "I'm sorry to say it like that, Twilight," her mentor said, "but you have to be ready for any eventuality." Luna nodded. "My sister is right, Twilight," she said quietly. "What will you do if he doesn't come back at all?" Twilight's eyes filled with tears. I never thought of it like that," she said. "I just assumed that because he loved me, he'd come back to me. I never realized that something could have happened to him. Maybe he doesn't even remember me." "Don't say that, Twilight," Pinkie said, her mane deflating. "He does love you, and he's coming back. Just you wait." "That's the thing, Pinkie Pie," said Celestia. "She's been waiting long enough, and what if she's right? What if he doesn't remember his time here? What if he thought it was all a dream?" Twilight burst out crying and fell to the floor in the fetal position. "We're so sorry for hurting your feelings like this, my dear Twilight Sparkle," Celestia said. "But you had to be told the awful truth." "I understand, Princess," Twilight said in between sniffles. She stood up and wiped the tears from her eyes. "I'll return to my duties in Ponyville," she said with a heavy sigh. "I won't forget him, but I have to accept that he's probably forgotten all about me." Celestia wrapped a ring around Twilight. The others soon joined in. "Pinkie, Rainbow," Twilight said. Both mares looked at her. "Let's go home."